Hey folks, JD here, and today we are looking at these guys. This is a comparison video of the two Symas, the X5UC and the X5UW. So, they are almost exactly the same in every way, apart from the UW, which is the red one on my left hand side, is capable of FPV, whereas the UC is only capable of recording video and not actually relaying it back to a device. So I thought this would be quite a good little comparison video, as both of these guys are pretty well suited, but there's been some noticeable differences in flying the UC to the UW. So without further ado, let's put them down. Let's take up the UW first. Alright, so the battery is all tightly put in. We've got a little SD card in there as well. There we go. Lights are active. It's now bound to the quadcopter. We've now got a solid red light in the middle of the on button. So let's take her up. Right, so it takes up to a 1 meter altitude and then stays there using its built-in barometer. These aren't GPS enabled quadcopters, they are purely barometer driven when it comes to altitude hold. I mean, for starters, I've only got her on the slow mode, but she seems to be acting quite well. There's still that little lag, see. Which is quite unfortunate, but as we saw in the X5UC the other day, we saw that she lagged now and again. If you actually went in a particular direction, stopped, and then had your thumb fully down on the forward button, she would take her quite a while to get there. Well, this copter is no different, but still great fun to pilot. Really good copters. So I'm going to record a little bit of video just so we can do a side-by-side video comparison of the two cameras. I mean, they should be exactly the same. There's no particular reason, there's nothing that makes me think that one's going to be better than the other, as they both have the same specs. But such a fun little quad to fly. Really responsive when it turns, really responsive when it goes backwards, but just not as responsive if you are changing directions quite quickly. Just not so responsive when you turn her and you want her to accelerate off. This I notice quite a lot, just because I noticed it a lot in the UC, and I think it's something I'm definitely looking out for when I'm flying this one as well. Right, okay, let's bring this one down to land and let's take up the UC and see how it fares in comparison to the UW. Okay, so here we are with the UC, just bound to the quadcopter. Let's take her up and let's see. Yeah, this one doesn't want to raise up to an altitude of 1 meter. It just stays put at about half a meter. Although one thing I am noticing straight away, this one is not as nice to fly as the UW. There certainly is a lot of work that has gone into making sure that they iron out all the bugs, because this guy certainly is not as refined. And even though it is a very cold day today, it obviously is taking its toll on the barometer of this copter, because it's really doesn't want to stay at a particular altitude. It just wants to feather between 1 meter and 2 meters, or between half a meter and 1 meter. Yeah, this is so difficult to control now that I've flown the UW. The UW really is refined compared to this one. Sorry UC, but yeah, really is. I mean, on high mode, like I've got this one flying now, it really is a lot easier to turn around, to fly, to bank, but still, come on little guy. It's that split second when you turn around and you think to yourself, she's not going to come back my way. And it's that lag that doesn't give me confidence in this copter. And that's one thing that I must have every single time that I fly, is just the confidence to know that the copter itself is safe, secure, solid. I don't get it with this, which is such a shame, because it is such a nice little copter. Yeah, so for me it's definitely got to be the UW. When you talk about these two and you put them side by side, the UW stands out a mile. Alright then, let's bring her back. Right, let's bring you back then, let's go for a verdict on them both. Alright, well, these guys, what can I say about them? Well, to be honest with you, what I would do is I would leave the UC alone. It is so unrefined in its altitude hold behaviour, in its movement. Turning is fine, but that's not the only movement that these quadcopters to do. So yeah, I'd leave that one alone. Stick with the UW. Put them side by side and the UW stands out a mile. Okay, it does still take a long time to turn and then to accelerate, but if you put it onto high mode, then that pretty much goes away, whereas with the UC it doesn't, it does stay. So yeah, all in all, I think it's most definitely the UW for me. So there we are folks, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and hello to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time my friends, happy flying.